I'm Terry Hutchins with AllHoosiers.com with Justin Albers, Nathan Brown, where tonight Indiana falls to Penn State 66-65 at Assembly Hall. I use up 11 with just a little over 3 minutes to play. Penn State outscores them 13-1 at the end. I mean, really, there's no words for what just happened. It's a hard one to describe.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you can analyze, and I know you talked about it on the radio earlier about this was a game they had to have, and Purdue's a game they have to have on Saturday, and they had it. I mean, they were up by 13 at one point, like you said, up 11 with just over 3 minutes, and even in the final minutes when Penn State's made their push, all you got to do is inbound the ball and make free throws. They failed to do that 3 times in a row, and Penn State scores with a Frazier layup at the end to ultimately win it with 6 seconds. So, I mean, you had so many chances, so many things had to happen right for Penn State to even have a chance at the end there. And, I mean, I can't remember a game where I've seen a team fail to inbound it 3 times in a row in that kind of situation. It's hard to imagine it comes to that against Penn State at home, and that's what happened.
It started when Jeremy Hollowell gets a 5-second call, and they've got 4 timeouts on the board. I mean, it was things like that was just hard to imagine. Even Crean talked about in the post game a lack of awareness, and really that's really what it came down to.
I mean, it was like that throughout the game, though. I mean, they had so many chances to put them away, and then a turnover here, a turnover there, a 10-second violation against the press. I mean, there's so many instances like that, and they tried 3 different inbounders on that thing at the end. I mean, they had Hollowell, then they had Sheehy, then they had Vonleh, and all 3 failed to call a timeout and failed to inbound it successfully. So, I mean, I don't know where you go from here. Where do you get answers at really what has to be the low point of the season at a time when you can't really afford to have any more letdowns like that? I mean, they pretty much have to win out from here, maybe 1 or 2 lapses in there to make the NCAA tournament, and that's a pretty tough task in this conference.
There's times in that game, Nathan, where Indiana was shooting over 60% and was only leading by 4 points or something like that. I mean, late in the game, 57%. But again, it was the turnovers over and over. I mean, I think, it was 20 turnovers, right? Mm-hmm. And so 10 in each half. You would think at this point in the year, 24 games in, that they would have been able to figure out this turnover problem, but they haven't.
That's what someone brought up in the media room afterwards when talking to Yogi and Will, and Yogi didn't really have a whole lot to say. He said that guys really just need to be more intelligent, which I think says a lot. With issues like Hollowell inbounding the ball and failing to do so with 4 timeouts left, it's really just about intelligence, about awareness on the court, and about not panicking, like Crean mentioned several times in his press conference.
Indiana loses to Penn State after beating Michigan here, after losing to Northwestern here, after beating Wisconsin here. I mean, it just the season doesn't make sense in so many ways. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But I mean, what are the realistic expectations moving forward? I mean, do you think this team finds a way to rally and get to 8 wins, or I mean, who knows, 9 wins? But I mean, or do you think that this is the turning point and they head south from here? I mean, I think that's the big question.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think it all depends how they come out against Purdue on Saturday. I mean, clearly they can compete with almost every team in this conference. They've had double-digit leads at Minnesota, at Nebraska, home against Penn State, lost all 3 of those games. I mean, they should have beaten Illinois at Illinois. They've been in almost every game except the Michigan State one at home. So it's not like this team can't compete with the Big Ten teams. It's just a matter of closing the deal at the end and limiting the turnovers to stay in the game.
I'm not trying to sell tickets for anybody, but if you want to see some good basketball, the Big Ten tournament at Bankers Life Fieldhouse is going to be a beauty because it's going to be wide open. I mean, anybody could literally beat anybody. That's it for us from Assembly Hall tonight, where, again, Penn State rallies, beats Indiana 66-65. The Hoosiers are 14-10. They dropped to 4-7 in the Big Ten, and now go to Purdue on Saturday. Pick up our coverage tonight. We'll have plenty of stuff throughout the night from the 3 of us, and then we'll see you next time.